As far as making changes, that to me right now is you have to look at your place and say, okay,
Yeah.
let's figure something out here, or let's leave it and go again.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of the cards are definitely stacked against me and everybody else as far as that goes this year. For
sure.
Didn't matter what you had.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This segment's brought to you by Woodsman Custom Calls.
Man, I've known Sean a long time. Great dude. He makes a great call. I haven't helped him design the camo cutter, which we saw what that thing did in Missouri this year.
Man, yeah, we had a heck of a trip up in Missouri. Ended up taking 3 birds on that trip.
Yes, sir. That's one of the 11 calls he makes out of his Outlaw series mouth calls, but he also makes slate calls and glass calls if you need those.
We've had Sean in here on the podcast. Really good guy.
Great call. Designed by killers for killers.
What is up, everybody?
Welcome back to the Hunt Experience, episode 38. 37.
Right?
37, yeah.
37. Yeah, I was going to say 37.
We did the 3 dozen last week. Yep. 37. Well, we'll be 38 next time then.
Yep. So, what's been happening? Anything good?
Oh, same old.
Same old?
Yeah, we got a little bit of 60s today.
Yeah, warm.
Had the 12-point show up on camera 2 times in a row. So you're saying there's a chance.
No, that's the new one, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a little different deer. He's got kind of a 12 and got like that little drop on the right-hand side.
So he showed back up.
I've got several dinks, and I've got probably half my buck population has dropped one side.
I was going to ask you that. So you sent me a picture of one. So you got more than one now?
So that was that big 8 I hadn't seen in forever.
Yeah.
So he's done. He's checked off the list. So if this guy ever daylights, I think, I haven't thrown in the towel yet, but it's about there.
You're about done with it?
I rode the food plot the other day to see if I could find some sheds out there because I've been getting these dinkers out there.
Yeah.
I didn't find any, but.
Yeah, I'm holding back just because I'm hoping to go out there and find 5 at once.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, last year was the first year I actually found a bunch on my property. I found 3 different ones, and they were all like
right there
on the food plot or in the switchgrass next to the food plot.
See, that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know how hard it is to find sheds.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And you have a pile of them on your place.
Like right there.
Yeah, I got sheds over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first one was that drop time buck, and I rode out there on the golf cart, and it's like I could see because he was white horn. Like I could see that thing shining all the way back there on the north end. Like
there's one.
That's one. I don't know what. Oh, it's a drop. It's a little drop time.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I got that big turkey mount deal. So I got those drop time and that other palmated buck shed kind of stacked in there with them turkey mounts. So
I've just since we're kind of on the subject, one of the coolest sheds I ever found is right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some mass, but
it's hollow, dude, because he lost it in velvet.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I mean, how weird is this?
Weight
this
to it.
Oh, this thing it's not half a pound, but I mean the mass, dude. I can't even hardly reach around.
He had a lot going on there.
Yeah, that deer ended up dying the next year.
Really?
By the neighbor. Mm-hmm. So I chased that dude for a while because he was just, look at the big old bladed eye guard.
Oh, I know, that's crazy.
And these are all had been eaten. Actually, if you think about it, they hadn't even formed completely.
No, yeah, probably not. Probably just
that was all soft.
Soft tissue that rotted off. Yeah,
because I was hunting that deer and it was early season. I remember it, and he'd lost one whole side, and I was like, "Did you get a car wreck, brother?"
Yeah,
dude, I found it, and you could see.
Yeah.
I learned this the other day.
Part of that pedicle out of there.
He broke the pedicle.
Yeah.
And you wonder how he did that in velvet.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Right, running and busted it off on something, I guess. But they say those dudes. So what did he look like the next year? Was it a horn? Because they say if they break that pedicle, it's like really a lot of no.
He had both sides, and it looked a lot like that.
Yeah.
It was trashy, all over.
Yeah.
But he was just he wasn't real wide, but he was just massive.
Yeah,
real massive.
He's a very heavy horn for sure.
And some kid neighbor killed it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like. Because I don't know what that deer would have scored. He would have been pretty hefty.
Yeah. Well, I listened to, it was a podcast here a while back, and they were talking, they had some sort of biologist on there, and they were talking about pedicle damage. And a lot of times when they break a pedicle, it'll be like a weird deal, or it'll like blow up and have all these drops and stuff off of it. So they were debating whether it was genetics or,
something else.
Like, I think they concluded it was a little bit of both.
Yeah. They talked about pedicle damage is like a big cause of death.
Yeah.
They get what do they call it?
Something in there gets in there.
Yeah. It's like
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't either. Dang it.
Too many weeks ago. So
yeah.
Five other podcasts and 2 audio books on my brain.
Abscess. Abscess.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's cool to me anyway. Because I mean, you think about something like that, it just regenerates every year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's always here before you know it too. Because like,
yeah.
like last year I didn't take my cameras down. It's like next thing you know, I'm getting like velvet bucks on.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're already like putting off horns. It's like it's been 3 weeks since we
quit.
Yeah. Of course, that's not for everybody. That's me. I'm always hunting late, but
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't thrown in the towel yet, but I mean, man, you see these horns falling off. Like this he has no reason daylight now. It's going to be 60s for a while, but I thought, man, if he's gotten pretty regular, but it's usually like midnight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wondered if that, this cold we've had, if that stresses that, pushes that forward.
For sure.
It does?
I think so.
As it's harder on the animal? Yeah. That's what I wondered.
I think so.
Because, they'll get rid of whatever they have to.
Yeah. It's kind of like the tree, chopping the leaves to save the tree type deal. I think it's the same scenario, in my opinion.
But I would assume so.
I'm not a biologist, but
yeah, me neither. But no, I was real big into shed hunting for a while.
Yeah,
just because I actually found some.
Yeah,
and then I went like at a year where I think I found one shed and like going 6 times. I was like, okay, I'm done.
It's tough. I'll tell you what,
it's always been tough.
The most I've ever found in like trying to stay after them, like. It's probably been, 10, 15 years ago when I was way, way into it.
Yeah.
Fort Chaffee.
Yeah, that's where I went to.
I find
I found 5 in one day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about, I think that was my record too. Yeah. But like around here, like up on the mountain and everything else, like, I follow all the trails, even up on the leash, on this 3,500 acres over here. It's like, you'll find all the trails and all that stuff. I've never found a shed.
Really?
Not once. And normally during turkey season, you're putting in, 35 miles a week, up there. Chomping around trying to find a bird. It's like, and you never found one?
Yeah, nothing.
One? Yeah. Not even one?
Makes you think how rare it actually is up there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too desolate.
Yeah, for sure.
You even go to some of those, like what you think would be like bedding areas, It's like, I've never found one up there.
Yeah, me too.
I've never like typically like just go up there to shed hunt. It's only I'm turkey hunting and kind of keeping an eye out, but I've never found one.
Well, I surprisingly, with all the food plot years I've got in, I ain't found a ton in the food plot. I mean, there's some years it's like, there's one right there.
I know, yeah.
It's like the greatest thing ever. And then I may go 2 or 3 years without having a shed. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then 1 year I found 3 sheds in and around my food plot. Yeah. 1 year.
Yeah.
I guess I carried a lot of food late. Yeah. I had them tracted there.
I think that's happened to me last year.
Yeah.
I was like,
there's
2 right here. Like and then of course I always walk the fence lines. I jump the fence, maybe they'll fall off there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really had any luck finding them on the fence row, but some of the trails that they use every year, I'll get out there and check those here in just a little bit. Once I finally officially throw in the towel, I'll go check
go look.
Yeah.
Well, this year was kind of cool. So at deer camp, so I was thinking about this. My big 10 that we did have in here, the other one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I killed at deer camp, in public. Dude, I found a shed this year that looked just like him. Yeah. I killed that deer in 2021. It's 25. Oh,
wow. Yeah.
I found the shed and I thought, man, this is a lot like that deer. It's cool. There's another one in here. No, I brought it home. It is his shed.
It's the exact match.
So he dropped that in 2020 and I found it in 2024.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
I found some.
It was all chewed up.
I figured they're like all bleached out.
Oh, yeah, it's bleached out. Yeah. But I mean, and what was cool about that is I found that shed about 300 yards from where I killed him.
Wow.
So that was his home range.
Yeah, he was living there for sure. Huh?
Well, what's funny about that is he was living there the whole time and didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, I don't do any cameras or nothing.
Sure, yeah.
We just go hunting.
Yeah, it's a 2 or 3 day trip or whatever.
Yeah, he was a stomper for a bunch of years there.
Yeah.
And I never knew he was there. But how cool is that? I mean, so I killed that deer. 4 years later, I find it a shed.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? I was I thought sheds would be gone.
Yeah.
By then, or ate up, or.
Yeah. I don't know. I found some that, I don't know if I found some with that yellow lab of mine. He brought one up last year. I take him out around the house, and up towards the mountain. And he found one that wasn't as big as the base as that, but it was kind of shaped like that.
Yeah.
It was 8 down a little bit farther now. Like, man, what was this thing? Like, but it was gnawed all the way down to basically to the bases.
Really?
It says squirrels eat them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's this one. Matter of fact, I'll grab it real quick. So yeah, dude, here it is. Check this out. Okay. So, really good mass.
Yeah.
Look at that thing, man.
Yeah.
So I went up to my mount and I stuck that thing and it is 100% him.
Dead.
Exact same split. This is all the same. He does have, you can tell he's got a little more width now.
Sure.
And his eye guards are longer.
No, yeah.
But it's the same curve. I mean, it's him. There's no doubt about it. But you can see how much just been chewed on it.
Oh, yeah.
But that, dude, I find that 4 years
that's pretty
after
crazy.
I harvested the deer.
Yeah.
How weird is that? You know?
Yeah. So he would have put that off on what, year 2?
See.
If so, that's pretty impressive if it's whatever that thing would have been.
Well, okay. I never had the deer aged.
Yeah.
But I guessed that deer at 5 at least.
Yeah.
He may have been 6.
That's what I'm saying. So that was.
Well, but I mean, that's when I killed him in 21.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Oh, in 21.
21's when I killed the deer.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So this would have been 2020 shed. So he'd have been a 4 or 5 year old.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You see what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, it's exact, dude. I was like, I was actually, the morning I killed the buck I killed this year down there.
Yeah.
I was coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a shed. You know, I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I picked it up and I was like, oh, dude, this thing looks like the one I killed. There's another one in here like that. No, it was him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. So I was really taken back by that.
Well, that's kind of like that one I found the switchgrass last year, that palmated buck I shot over the top of.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, if I kill that deer this year, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You know, he was a everydayer.
Yeah.
I got one stinking picture of him the whole season.
Jerk.
What's going on around here?
You turd. Yeah.
I always thought it'd be kind of cool to like, here's a shed from last year. Here he is. And like, I don't know, that'd be kind of.
That is cool.
Kind of cool.
Well, see, I've done this one other time. Golly, dude, that had been 25 years ago, probably. Public land, same area. And I killed a buck, which was my best buck at the time. And it was just a chocolate 8-point. I've got it mounted.
Oh, yeah.
And I went back the next year, early in the spring, scouting, listening for turkeys.
Yeah.
And there was a double set of sheds.
Oh, wow.
In the dirt, like stuck in the ground. And I was just like, this somebody's rattling antlers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking to say.
And, you know, I grabbed them. I was like, that's cool. That's a nice deer. Brought him home. Set buck on the wall.
Wow.
So the year before,
he'd
shed them. But dude, he'd shed them both side by side.
That's weird. Yeah.
I thought that was
Makes
bizarre.
you think he must have usually
fell down or something.
Yeah, like I tripped and fell, stuck my head in the mud, and like, oh crap, my horns fell off.
Yep. And matter of fact, it's not very far from camp is where I found those.
Really?
And I mean, dude, you stick them up there and it's them.
Yeah.
Identical.
Yeah.
So I think that's too cool.
Well, that's probably not been done too many times.
No.
You know, back to back.
Yeah. And I found the sheds probably, well, you know, the bottom I was hunting in,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know where camp was.
Yeah.
I was in that bottom.
Yeah.
Right across from camp in that old thicket is where the sheds were. So, I mean, you know, that was part of his run.
Wasn't there like a water hole over there?
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of cool. I mean, that's two instances that I actually have the shed from the animal I took. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
On the public.
Yeah.
Both of them on public.
You know how much they could probably travel over there.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they were hanging around pretty tight.
Well, you got to think that was, you know, they always say that older bucks, when they stay pretty tight to their home. Well, these two guys is proof of that.
Yeah.
You know, I take that for what it is. But
yeah, I'm kind of that way too.
you don't go very far anymore. You're done chasing. Is that what you're saying?
Stay pretty close to the house. And to get up this morning, it's been something every day this whole week. Like, hey, go over here. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. And it's like this morning's like, I forgot what was going on. Anyway, we went and watched the nephews play basketball.
Oh yeah.
You remember you said you were going to watch? Oh, yep, I did. Let's go watch them. It was cool. It was cool to watch them play ball, but man, even with you know, my schedule being fairly lax, this week's been like something every day. It kind of makes me grumpy.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm in the process trying to get a van, a new one, and all that.
Yeah,
I hate that stuff, dude.
Yeah,
I hate it. And I've been in business for 12 years on my own. Well, I've had the same van for 10.
Yeah.
So it's time.
Same belts and everything.
Well, I'm fixing to roll 400,000 on it. So it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
And I hate that whole process. And it's just like,
yeah.
And then they're calling me saying, you know, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. But yeah, it's
you have to special order or something like that? Or they got them around?
No, they've actually got a used one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And it's exactly what I'm looking for.
Nice.
But it's a little overpriced and it really hurts my feelings.
Yeah. Just tell them the price and walk away. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, they'll call you a week later. They won't.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, there's all that going on, but I've been super busy in my business, so I ain't had time to do much of anything. I mean, normally we would try to knock out a pod earlier in the week. Yeah. And it's just been like, dude, I'm going to get home at 5:30 or.
Yeah. I've been kind of waiting this week. Like, we'll see. As I told you, like, hey, I'm usually done by 1 or 2. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
typically, I don't have a whole lot going on during the week. I'm usually doing some kind of project. I ain't been hunting here lately. I just kind of quit. Like, I'm just going to wait to see if
something shows up
or don't. I'm going to waste my evenings out there.
Well, I was going to text you, and I may have. What morning was it? I had a morning.
Yeah.
3 cameras had deer on them. Daylight deer.
I had some little bucks and a bunch of does.
I did too.
Tuesday, maybe.
I did too.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened?
I looked at the barometer, which is what I look at. I was like, man, the barometer, it was like 29 something.
I texted Jody and I said, what's the moon saying? He comes back with, well, I had to make a decision. The app went up.
Oh, yeah.
Or do I want Onyx? And he said, I didn't renew it.
Yeah. So now we don't know what the moon is.
Now we don't know what the dang moon is.
Yeah, there's no proof of anything anymore.
Dang it. Because I was thinking, okay, there's a perfect example of if the moon said if they were supposed to move at this time.
Yeah.
Because it was on, dude, I ain't had nothing daylight, hardly at all.
No, me neither.
And it was like
does. I've had a bunch of does.
But it was like, 3 different cameras all at the same time, piles of deer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, something's up.
Yeah, mine was the same way.
Isn't that funny?
Across that fork stand, and I've got 2 cameras running on the food plot, one in that little section over here, and then one on the top section.
I bet you, if you looked it up by the moon guide, it would have said activity is at this time to this time, and that's probably what it was.
And I had a little, it was a small 8 and like a fork that was missing one side that was in there too that morning. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I got on camera, speaking of the shed thing, I've got on camera 1 buck so far that's dude, it's pretty crazy too, because he don't have he's young. He don't have either side, but he got in like a car collision or something.
Really?
Both of his sides is road rashed, like from his ribs back.
Drug or something.
Yeah, no, I mean like he's missing like huge amounts of height.
Dang.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. Joda was like, dude, look at this deer. What's up? And he's like, I don't know. But he's not, doesn't seem sick or nothing, but
that is weird.
Looked like a big old scab down his side.
That's probably how he lost his horns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just got him knocked off. And Joe's like, there's probably a mark on the highway where he got hit.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, I sent you a picture of that new buck I got here. Did you see that? It's like, where the heck did that deer come from?
He's going to be a dandy.
Yeah, he's a nice 8. Yeah. He's not very wide, but the 2s are really long.
Yeah, I got a little 8 like that too.
Do you?
I had him early in the year.
Oh, you did?
And he's 2.5. But I mean, it's one of those ones I told you that, it's like, man, we're talking about like, why don't I have this picture of this 2.5-year-old 8 point on my, like, what am I doing? I was like, that's a
carryover.
Going to be a pretty good buck. And he's back again. So.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know about you, but for me here, if I get a buck really late in the season like this, good chance he'll be here next year. That's just something that's worked for me. And I know it hasn't for you necessarily.
No, because last year's the first.
You had some late ones.
I got that drop time buck, and he was here in Velvet, and then gone forever.
Right.
And then the one I shot over the back of the end of the year.
One picture of
him. So
weird.
He's a no returner, which every year I say that. It's like, oh, that buck comes back next year. He's going to be crazy good. But last year I had that 7. It's like, I wonder what he's going to turn out to be. We both passed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had that 10 point that I got on video that was, I think he may have been 3.5, may have been 2.5. It was like the when I shot the video of it, he kind of like looked up at the.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was a great looking deer.
He was wonderful up and comer.
Oh, yeah. Like there's no sign of him anywhere.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, for whatever reason, in the past, now there's been some exceptions to this. I had a giant come in here one time that's like, 150s plus, back when 150s were really hard to find. And I was like, oh my gosh, this deer's giant, and he was hanging with the crowd of bucks like they do.
Yeah.
And I was like, this deer comes back next year. He's gone, smoking this deer. That was it.
Never saw him again.
Yeah. And, but the 3-year-olds, usually, if it's a good 3-year-old late, he comes back at 4 or 2-year-old to 3-year-old. 2-year-old to 3-year-old does that. But I don't know. Once they get that mature age, all bets are off. I can't predict it at all. Yeah, these bucks, man, it's hard to predict anything.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So I'm already looking forward to next year. Surely it can't be any worse than this year.
Yeah, no, that's me.
Drought and the acorns and everything else that screwed us all up, which I'm wondering, those, the red acorns, they're supposed to like kind of do their rotting and germinating and all that stuff, during the winter time. So as we get more action on the food plots, like we're talking about that morning stuff, I'm wondering if those things are finally going away.
Starting to peter off.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to talk to you about too, because I actually had action on the food plots every night. And then I had this daytime action. like we were supposed to have all season long.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, okay, the switch finally flipped, and it's, what is it, the 20?
That's what I told the wife. I was like, well, I guess the food plot's finally working.
Yeah, food plot's drawing deer. And it's like, okay.
Now there's a bunch of one-horned deer walking around here.
Yeah, it's January 22nd.
Yeah.
Geez.
Yeah. No, mine's like
That's the way mine is.
mowed down. Yeah.
Yeah. Clint's is that way. Dad's is that way.
Yeah.
And that's what was funny about it. It's like I haven't had anything on either one of their cameras.
Yeah.
Except that day.
Oh, really?
And they both
I
had
wonder what was going on that day.
Something was up, dude. And I was like,
check it out.
My local expert that keeps me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, I'm out now.
He cheaped out on an app.
What?
You can't spend $9.99.
He said it went up to like, I don't know, $60 or something.
Really?
I'm out.
Yeah, that's pretty. I'd be out too.
Yeah. Anyway, so and I'm not going to buy it. So it's like, dang it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I got to run that. What is that? HuntWise. Yeah. I run that one. It went up. Well, it automatically came out of my account. I'm like, golly, I think it was like that. It was
just way up there.
Whatever the price was, it was kind of crazy. But
is that the no? Oh yeah, that's
Sturgis's deal.
Sturgis's deal. Yeah, because see, we had the Drury's thing for a while there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it's called, but anyway,
Deercast.
Deercast. Yeah, I had that for a while. Which is an interesting one. I kind of enjoyed the prediction.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because I mean, it fell pretty close. Because it was based around cold fronts.
Sure.
Which is what we hunt anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't really need an app to tell you that, but
exactly.
Even like that HuntWise deal, it's like
same way.
I like it because I can see what the wind's going to be.
Oh yeah,
pretty far out. He's like, I think it's like 2 weeks. You know,
make plans for it.
Skeptical, but it's like, man, today, or the barometer kind of has it's all in one there, so not something you really need. But, I mean, it's kind of cool to, I do 9 times out of 10, I'll be like, man, I had a lot of bucks in the food plot this evening or whatever. And like, let me see what, oh yeah, sure enough, it said,
said good.
99 or whatever the rating would be. So it's right sometimes, not right.
Yeah. I think that's, the nature of it. It's like we said, we're big time believers in cold fronts. Yeah. Especially if there's going to be precipitation in it for whatever reason, I don't know.
We got all this cold weather and, below freezing for a week. I was like, I'm fixed to kill a deer.
Yeah.
Man, it's nothing really going on.
Just didn't happen, huh?
I got to kind of redirect my attention if I go the 3 years without killing one here.
Well, I was going to ask you, something we haven't even talked about yet is, so what kind of changes do you make? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I mean, I've been kind of, we've already talked about what I got. I'm going to add some bedding pockets. I'm going to frost seed clover, because I haven't been clover in a while.
Yeah.
Some of that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's like, do you make bigger changes on scale?
I honestly don't believe I can have bucks bedding on me. I just don't think they will.
See, I'm same way.
I'm not going to worry about doing a whole lot of hinge cuts and trying to create bedding, but I could thicken it up some. I was looking at the, what would that be? The west side of the food plot, kind of where the deer come from. Like, man, if I come in here, it's like real spindly trees and lay these things down, maybe I will get, a staging area right here. Maybe they come out a little bit early. So
something you think about?
But I don't know, man. I mean, geez, I tried to, I was sure that the section of food plot off this year would like make some daylight action happen, but I never had a shooter really.
Right.
So, I mean, and it worked. I mean, it did work. I saw several deer kind of use it the way it should be used, but I just never had nothing that.
Well, we lost that major attraction of the plot.
Yeah.
The plot is our major attraction.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we just never really had it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they fed in it and stuff, but I mean, it was like when it's right on a year that it's right, it's like, I mean, they're piled in there.
For sure. Yeah.
And then we just didn't have it. We just didn't have it at all.
We had that big drought that stunted it.
Yeah.
And we had the, mass bumper crop of acorns that just, everything turned to a ghost town at that point. Like, because there's, I don't know, 50,000 acres of acorns behind me.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do? And something we talked about too, you think, okay, once the rain did get here, we got our plots to come up and they did pretty good. Well, right now, where I watered is where the deer are eating.
Yeah.
Because it's so thick.
I kind of wonder about that too. If it's like, mine's getting tore up now, but it's like, even before it's like, man, it's like not really getting used that much.
Yes.
Acorns, or is it bitter because?
It just didn't do what it does. I think it's not as lush maybe because where I watered, and I'd actually move the sprinkler around. So it's a pretty good area.
Yeah.
and just got really thick once we got that.
It's a healthier plant, probably. I'm sure they probably know that.
Dude, they're like, I actually put the camera towards it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, every night, that's where they're at. Now I'm sure they're browsing around.
Yeah.
But that's where they're going. So it's like, okay, there's kind of the answer on the food plot thing. Mm-hmm. The attraction and, how sweet is the candy, if you will.
Yeah, I wonder.
Wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because of the drought.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a really bad one this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
real bad.
Yeah. What was it? Did we finally get rain in October? Is that what it was? I can't even remember at this point.
I had to go back and look at videos and I re-drilled.
Yeah, you replanted some stuff.
And drilled everything, which I didn't really have to kind of find out. Once we got rain, that stuff popped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a strange one. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today is just kind of, if you were going to make some changes, what would they be?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, it's so from year to year specific.
Sure.
1 year, man, it's like early, as soon as you can start putting feed out, you get piles of deer.
Yeah.
And then some years it's like, there's nothing here.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of why I had bucks early. I had 2 different bucks that I probably would have killed with a bow.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a shooter, what I would say a shooter, until I got that one picture of that 12 that, I had that 8.
You did have that 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good deer.
He had been a good deer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had him, but I mean, he wasn't hanging out.
Yeah.
It was like he was pushing does around and gone.
Yeah.
And he came, I had him probably about 3 weeks ago. And then he came back when I seen that picture, 2 or 3 nights ago anyway, and he dropped aside. So
it's like, whoop, he's done.
Yep, he's going. Which I went out there because I'm like, I want to see if I can find that shed. So I kind of drove around trying to find that shed because that'd been a cool one to have. But,
oh, yeah, for sure. Well, and you think he's 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 10-year-old.
Yeah, big body though, dude. He's you look, when I was standing on that ladder looking down at him, his back was wide.
Really?
Yeah, like you would think it was like a Missouri deer or something.
So yeah, and I don't want to jinx you, but if that deer happens to come back,
oh, I know,
it'd be a good one.
5.5 plus whatever. I mean, I think he was mid 40s this year.
Yeah, he's a good deer. Good deer for sure.
He should push 50 something next year.
Well, and to expound on the excited part, dude, I see 1, 2, 3 of the properties had a bunch of 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so
I was covered up in 3.5-year-olds early season.
Yeah. So, I mean, we may get some 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I told the wife, if I have a third year, last year I had some bucks I was chasing.
Yeah, you did.
Some good ones.
Yeah, you did.
But this year, like I said, I never really had it.
Yeah.
Just never really had like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. It's,
right.
I'm normally good for a couple 50s, 60s, and just never had one.
Just never had one show.
I told you I had that buck we talked about. I got him at 4.5, maybe 5.5. He's like,
the busted up one.
Yeah, the busted up deer. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he's there every day. I mean, he's daylighted quite a bit. I've passed him 3 times, and even after we talked about, I might take that deer. It's like, nah,
yeah,
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, what would it be next year? If he hangs around?
Yeah. If he gets all his, actually grows horns back, and he must be a fighting dude because he don't have much left.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll see, but I don't know. As far as changes goes for me, I'm trying to get a lot of that timber off the food plot. Is what I'm.
Yeah, you tell me that. Yeah, and you go in there stump grind and.
Yeah.
And just now, are you still thinking corn?
I'm gonna try it.
Are you?
I don't know if it'll make it, depending on what the weather does.
Well, the nice thing about that is corn's planted early.
Yeah.
And so you'll know if it's successful
exactly,
or not.
Yeah.
And then you can just if it's not.
Yeah, we'll do whatever at that.
That would be really cool if you could pull that off.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist around here.
No, heck no. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think I'm gonna basically make a strip. I'll do all my other ones the same way I've been doing, but the big one, I think I'm gonna make a strip straight from one kill house to the next.
Really?
And then maybe make a couple branches off of it or something I can see,
so
cold front wise.
Yeah. Well, that'd be good.
But it'd be cool because I think that's instant bedding too. It's like,
yeah, no, it'd be thicker than anything around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can pull that
kind of like that, my original food plot on the property, that little 1/4 acre or whatever, I planted it in switch.
It's switch.
Bedding all in there. I think it's mostly does, but it's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So you're talking about going around that and maybe hinging some and making more?
No, closer to the bigger food plot.
Okay, back towards
the kind of where they hop the fence right there, where the water hole is, and where I get all those pictures, what we call the fork stand.
Okay.
And you can just see right through that, all the way through there. I'm like, I wonder if picking this up, if they would come over earlier.
Maybe.
I don't know.
More secure.
There's no big trees in there, really. It's just a bunch of garbage. So
more secure.
I'll lay it down, let it thicken up. Who knows? They use the crap out of that corridor.
Yeah.
The deer that I did see daylight, and they come out right there on that corridor.
I got you.
And I drove through there yesterday, and there's like a bunch of, it's super, super thick. Kind of where I got that mound of dirt pushed up where the brick pile was.
Oh, yeah.
Like all that's like real thick. Well, I looked inside there, and it's like all these little branches, and they're just like twisted out like new stuff. So I was like, I'm going to hop off and go in there and see if I can find a shed, because it's like, it's white bark, like they just got done doing it. So there was nothing.
Nothing in there?
But yeah, it's like impenetrable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did they walk around that, you think?
I don't think they're in it as much as they are, around the edges.
Perimeter of it?
Yeah. I got pretty deep in there looking for that arrow that I killed that big buck with, because I was like trying to line it up. I know it's in there somewhere, and it's rough to get through there, and I never did find that.
Never found it?
No.
Well, you made me think when you said that, what is that 10 going to do next year since I shot it? Mm-hmm. Is he going to have a drop down? Is he going to?
Possibly, yeah.
Is he going to have a split or a hook or?
Well, you remember when I shot old Brutus, and he came back next year and had a drop on his right side.
Did he really?
And a split. He was split G2. Yeah, split G2 and about I don't know, probably 1 inch like curled drop off there.
Okay.
Yeah. They say if they take an injury like that, they could put off some weird stuff. But he did. I think he had the little drops on both sides, but one of them was farther back. But he was a gnarly buck that came back that next year.
Okay, that's pretty cool. You just made me think of that when you said that.
Yeah.
But
and he may have done that anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and that's what you got to wonder. I mean,
if they take an injury, that you hear they come back with a little extra garbage or stuff on them. But
for sure. Well, if no man lands one, like I did, does it affect him at all?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
mine was the same way, but I guarantee he had what was I shooting then? Probably trocar. He had an arrow stuck in him because he broke that arrow off. So
it was inside.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
you see, I got full pass through.
Yeah,
and I never found that arrow either. By the way,
yeah,
I don't have a clue where that arrow went.
No telling.
You think, how can it go very far? But it's thick, nasty mess behind it.
Yeah, sure. Like skips off the ground and goes airborne. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, right. But no, as far as making changes, that to me right now is you have to look at your place and say, okay, let's figure something out here, or let's leave it and go again.
I think there's a lot of the cards are definitely stacked against me and everybody else as far as that goes this year.
Sure.
Didn't matter what you had.
Yeah, sure.
I stayed off mine, like no pressure. I think there's some pressure around me.
Yeah.
We talk about that little public
maybe,
strip up above me, horse people burning and cutting trails. So that stuff could play a part, but still you think you get some nighttime stuff having all that I have there.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like
I think some years maybe you just don't have those.
I agree.
Those big walks.
Well, I've seen that here.
Yeah.
It's just, some years it's like, man, I got bucks out the wazoo.
Yeah.
I remember one year, dude, it's probably been 5 years ago now. I was big in the plot screen stuff. It was all kind of new.
Sure.
It was working great and like the most daytime pictures I'd ever got. But I had 13 different 2 to 5 year olds.
Wow.
It was just nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at this. And it's just like, and then I think it was 7 or 8 got killed, verified.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why am I even trying?
Ouch.
Yeah. I'm like, why am I even trying?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's me. It's not like I haven't had bucks. I bet I got probably 20 different bucks on camera, but they're just, from beginning when I started running cameras.
Yeah. Through season, all the way through season. Yeah. So, I mean, I like we've talked about before, I know I am a pass-through location, not really a pass-through. I think I'm a destination location.
Yeah.
They go back from me. So they come to me and then they go back.
Yeah.
And, now I'm kind of two-sided because the other 2 sides is just big open cow pasture now that used to be thick stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I am. And regardless of all of the stuff we've done to make them come, it's ultimately what your property is. You know what I mean? I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
There's a lot of stuff. Like I said, this year was, definitely cards were stacked against us with
for sure.
that we had going on, planting and drought and acorns and
Yep.
and all those things. But like I said, you still think that nighttime stuff, you get a picture of it's a banger, and I just never.
Yeah, it just didn't happen till the 12th.
Yeah.
And that, I'm glad he's going to make another year. He's going to be a whop next year.
He's a cool deer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like that one I'm looking at right now. It's like, you text me, would you shoot him if he daylight? I was like, man, at this point, I think I have to. He's really a 13 point with that. If that nub's long enough to count as one, it's like split G2, crab claw on the end, little drop. Like, it's a pretty cool deer, but I don't think he's very old.
I think he's 3.5, don't you?
Me too.
That's what I guessed him at. So, gosh, what's he going to do next year?
No, yeah.
But will he come back? There's the question, Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, maybe like one of those one picture bucks again. Like, I don't know, man.
It's so weird, man.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Can't figure them out, never will, but it's fun trying.
It is fun trying.
Yeah.
That's why we hunt, man. It's an adventure, even on our own place. And then, I think for you, we need to sprinkle in some other places for you to go.
Yeah,
like you got to come to deer camp next.
Yeah, no joke. What was it this year? Oh, I was gone.
Yeah, you went on a cruise.
Yeah, that's right. What was happening this year,
dude? That's just it's kind of my heritage. It's how I started, but it's so different. Yeah. I mean, you don't know, you don't have a clue, and you're literally going by sign and travel corridors.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean.
Kind of like a Missouri deal. You run up there for 3-4 days like we used to and try and figure something out.
The difference about Missouri was you knew there was giants there.
Yeah.
Down there, you don't really know if they're or not.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think sometimes you got to kind of break it up when you got your own place because you can go crazy.
Well, I hunted less this year than I have ever.
Really?
Now I'm talking ever since I first started hunting. Like,
just didn't go because just nothing was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't get anything.
I stayed out. The only time I got in was hunted pretty hard, probably 3 days when we got down there in the teens, and then when we had all that snow, I hunted pretty hard. But other than that, it was just I didn't do a whole lot.
Stayed out.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing going on. Might as well not put any pressure on it. And
maybe
something pops out. But I hunted less this year than I ever have.
It's crazy
in a deer season.
It's crazy. Weird year, man. Like we keep saying, that's all we know what to say. We don't know what else to say. It's just weird.
Well, and you're like me. You bounce around and listen to other podcasts and all that kind of stuff too. And
it's everybody,
even the Midwest.
Oh no, it's everybody.
The same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of them got lucky enough to harvest an animal, but
sure,
farmland's different too than what we're kind of dealing with here.
But the drought affected everybody.
Sure,
yeah, it really did.
Yeah,
everybody took a hurt on that. Just the movement wasn't the same. The plots weren't the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. And I'm like you. I'm optimistic because I don't think that's going to happen 2 years in a row.
Yeah, you hope not.
You hope not.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even mind if the acorns didn't drop at all.
What's kind of funny, no kidding.
Let's do a little investigation in that too.
Let's go a whole year without acorns and see what happens. Yeah. But it's funny. I'm in the fireworks business, and so every year I'm like, we gotta have rain, until July 4th, and I'm like, I don't care if it rains now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we had plenty of rain through the 4th, and it rocked on there, and we even went to the end of July, and then the spigot turned off.
Yeah, done.
That was it, dude. And what was it? 6-7 weeks without a rain?
At least 7.
And hot.
Yeah.
So
burn everything up.
It's like we were just like, what are we doing here? Because it's like, if we don't get plots, man, I'm just kind of.
Yeah. Well, I think I just pulled the trigger on mine. I was like, hey, it's showing some rain maybe a week from now. I was like, I'm putting mine in. Like, hopefully the drill.
Well, the drill makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I did, what was it? Dad's spot.
Yeah.
And it was like baking in the sun out there, and a lot of seeds on top of the ground. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I mean, it did okay once we got rain, but it probably would have done a whole lot better.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And that was just a broadcast. I just broadcast seeded that one. So,
yeah.
Because that was so
I kind of, that's another one place that surprised me. But I mean, I guess, like I said, the cards were stacked against all of us. But I thought, man, he has luck there every year.
Every year.
We put a plot in there.
Yeah. It's just going to be.
It's going to be easy.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
And he did have a couple opportunities, but nothing like normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is usually slam dunk. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah. We'll see. We're kind of looking forward to next season and see. Surely it's going to be better than this one.
Yeah. Got to be. Right? Got to be. At least one phase of it. Maybe no drought. Yeah. Or maybe no historic acorn crop.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to look into that now that I just said that. I was like, I'm going to read about like if there's a bumper crop,
Well, see, somebody had told me that acorns will drop over a period of time through the winter, all the way into the winter, start in the fall and go into the winter dropping. Yeah. Well, when the drought was so severe, they all dropped.
Yeah. No, that's what it was for sure.
Yeah. It was just like all the acorns, and then even some acorns later on kept dropping and it's like gobs like I've never seen them.
Yeah.
And that played a role.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Both species that we have here. Just rain and so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think the drought definitely caused, like we talked about, I'm getting rid of these acorns now because I have to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you, like, my food plot, it was kind of cool to see almost a perfect circle, probably 25, 30 foot across of every tree, and they just sucked every bit of moisture out of the ground. And there's like a dead spot right there.
Yeah. Think about that all the way to the top of the ground. They get all the moisture.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. That's pretty crazy to think.
Like, that's pretty cool because, it was like a perfect circle.
Yeah. That's what it's a root ball.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I can't help but be optimistic. I am every year.
Yeah, I'm excited again.
And then I'm like, all right, what changes am I going to do? I need to figure that out pretty quick here.
Yeah.
And I'm probably a few weeks away from frost seeding and a few weeks away. I'm going to go ahead and go into that thicket, like I told you, and open it up, make bed and pocket in there. But
yeah.
Other than that, I will change my plot layout a little bit.
Yeah.
I got that area underneath that big tree down there that the switchgrass didn't come in well. I'm going to go ahead and make that plot, tie it into my little bean patch.
Sure. Yeah.
And just bring that all the way up is what my plan is. Yeah. Other than that, dude, now, what about plot screen? What are you going to eat? So if you're corn, you're obviously not plot screening.
No, I won't need it if I do that. But I mean, if it fails, obviously I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, they're planted about the same time.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was wondering.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on corn, but somewhere around in there.
It's early. I think it's May.
Is it May?
May.
Yes, it is the same.
Yeah.
Plot screen the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back again with the plot screen like I always have on the perimeter, and then didn't come in this year. Perimeter of it.
This side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go one section instead of two.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided.
Yeah.
There was a couple of spots I couldn't see very well.
Oh yeah, I ran into that with the south winds. Like, I can't see.
Yeah, I can't. There's something there.
Which I didn't know I was going to do that 360 blind when I planted it, so I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't plan that out very well. Now I know where it's at, so you can.
Well, I film everything, and then it's always a late evening anyway. And so when you got something that's sticking up, trying to see what it is, and it's like, okay, I need to get rid of that one. That one's in the way.
Yeah.
So
I thought about doing that too, because I told you I was feeding for a north wind and a south wind. Well, once we switched to north, I was getting quite a bit of pictures of that 12 and that big 8. There was a 10 that was running around in there, but they would not come up to the top. They just fed down there. So like, I gotta quit feeding down there. But I told her, was like, you go throw the brush hog and just cut me just a line right there where I could during the whatever it was it rifle season? Maybe I can't remember. Anyway, it was one of the gun seasons. That was maybe it was a second rifle season that we had that 3-day or yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and so I could at least shoot that corn pile from down there because I couldn't see it.
Couldn't
camera
see
be going off. Like, but
there's a buck down there.
Never was a dandy. I didn't really miss an opportunity. I probably would have gotten down and tried to stalk him or something.
It would be really cool if you could pull off 2 acres of corn.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
With a run through the middle.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I got to admit. And then your food plot where the run is through the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever our trifecta or whatever.
Yep. Do the same thing we always do. I'll make it fairly fairly wide.
Yeah.
For there's some green there too.
Sure.
And then I figured like when it gets bad, like late December, go in there and just brush hog all that corn down, so there's just corn everywhere out there.
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea.
But it's all about, as like I said, you brought it up, I take a risk of not being able to segment my plot because if I do corn and I'm not doing plot
you have to pick one.
Now I've got a big, giant open plot there, which, I mean, whatever.
I
still be worth a try.
Your year one was pretty good on that as far as seeing deer.
Yeah.
It really was, and it was wide open.
Yeah.
But we're always trying to figure out, okay, how do we get big bucks here in the daylight? That's the whole trick.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to be a trick.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm the same way with you. Like my switchgrass on that western side, I've planted it 2 or 3 times. And it's kind of like where that old shale road was. It won't really come up there. So I'm probably going to brush hog all my grass, my switchgrass down. And I'm thinking about just going in there and just frost seeding, just make it pass around the whole dang thing and see if it just thickens up, Yeah. So I got like 2 bags I've had for a while.
Switch.
So, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But I do want to cut mine. I've never cut mine before just because it's been fairly young. I said like year 3.
It seems to help it.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, and it'll take a lot of the bigger weeds out, which I don't mind.
Yeah, mine was super thick down that north end because it was a mixture of all kind of stuff. But
yeah, you think down at the deer's level, dude, that's pretty impenetrable.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like you're not seeing through that.
Yeah.
So them deer, all what would that be to your north, would have to come in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's where a lot of yours came from, right?
It did, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
maybe that was the ticket.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps for sure. But I got that western side. I just can't get it to grow right there. And it's a little bit sparse on my little teardrop up top. And I went in there and kind of seeded that again too. But you know how like my original food plot was, I seeded it and then dang, it didn't come up. It just turned into weeds
and then
seeded it again. And like I just happened to drive out there one day just out of curiosity. I'm like, oh my God, it's everywhere full of switch. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember what seed that was. I know somebody has to stratify and go through the whole deal. So maybe it takes it a year to actually get.
Well, see, yeah, that's what,
yeah.
When I originally started doing it, that's what it had to take, it's like, oh, it didn't work. And then it's like, oh, wait. It did work because, in the fall is when you can see that little curly cue they make that nothing else makes.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's switched.
Yeah.
This, that I had planted that outside road, out here.
Yeah.
All the way down. And I was like, oh, it was a total bust.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. Now it's like all the way up. Now it's not mega thick because the ground's not that good.
Yeah.
I know that's my problem.
Yeah.
But it's, waist high in some places. So I don't know. I'll take it, whatever I get.
Anything helps for sure. After seeing what that drill does with plot screen, it kind of makes you want to just like run the perimeter with that plot screen every single year. Because dude, that was like
easy.
It was impenetrable, literally with 16 foot wide. I think is what I did.
16 foot wide, and you want a heavier seating rate, which is what I need to do.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's thick. And see, so this year I'm going to try again. I've tried it, I think every year, but that isn't this year. I'm going to do that top side. So that when my deer pop out into the field,
that'd be pretty crucial.
Yeah,
they have a real good.
They're looking there, across the pasture there, and it's like I got to stop that.
Yeah,
something they're like, freaked out looking, and I was like, I need a wall right there
for sure.
Something that just grows
up.
Or
if you scootered it, see what you got a couple big trees out there. It's probably where you got that big shady area too, huh?
Yeah, but the problem is, dude, is that top side gets really dry, like real fast. The first thing to dry out, and it's just like, I mean, I even took one year. I took, and run water hose all the way out there. I think I got like 9 water hoses together. And by the time you get it out there, it won't hardly spray. There's no pressure.
You're losing too much.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, I was trying everything, trying to survive it. But I think I'm going to try that again, and I'll probably may even go like 25 feet wide.
Yeah,
and just swath there, and then the perimeter of the big plot down there at the bottom, because switchgrass is all established.
Yeah,
at this point, it's 5 feet deep, and you could barely see the top deer's head walking through it, which is about right.
Yeah.
So that bottom edge, and then I will run one divider. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to carry the clover. I may actually carry some clover in the fall. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in several years.
Yeah.
I have the spring stuff, but
just don't plan into it at all.
It just depends on how well it does. Well, if we get smoked, like we usually do.
Yeah.
But, if it's July and August smokes it, then I may replant. But if it can live, and I was trying to think about this the other day, in 25 years is like 3 years that the clover just went straight through all the way through summer. We would burn up for the most part.
Yeah.
But if we, if the clover is holding on, hit it with some fertilizer for rain right there in the fall.
And it blows up. Yeah.
And it's really attractive for me. It's really attractive in that early season.
Yeah.
And then you do have some attraction really late because it does stay green.
Yeah.
Quits growing.
Yeah.
But it stays green.
Yeah.
So it's, but I don't want to go away from our mix. So I want to figure out how to incorporate all that in there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I just want to add something.
I do just like you just segment off and just do, if it survives, just do a clover plot, which that far end would probably be your best bet on the wettest spot.
As long as the most moisture, it can't stand moisture. It's got to drain.
Sure. Yeah.
But it needs to be the wettest area.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the plan. It's like we talk about all the time. It's like, okay, I got to make changes. Here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to continue with the back plot, and we'll just continue the program, crimp it down, and just let her keep going.
I think that's epic, dude. Like the crimping deal.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty excited about year 5 into that process.
Yes, for sure.
See what the soil looks like. Because even like So I did rye and then I did buckwheat. So I had 2 crimpings on it.
Yep.
And, it was like, we didn't have any rain for, what did we say, 7-8 weeks. And so, man, there's rain in the forecast. I'm going to go ahead and drill if the drill will get through this. And it just drilled right through it. I'm like, dang, check it out. Like, the ground is still soft and it was holding some moisture in it.
Dark colored. Yeah. The difference.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. When you start seeing that, I was like, dang, what if you get like 4 or 5 years of this stuff crimped over on top of it? What do you have? I bet you'd probably have an inch of good
topsoil.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I agree. I definitely seen it. The thicker spots.
Yeah.
And my plot from last year just crimped great. I mean, it was like a wad.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, and we did we do buckwheat this year? We did, didn't we?
Did we do it here?
Didn't I do that back? Yeah, I did that back.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I had to do it on my
the
place.
places that it did the best was where the mat was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it like had moisture in it.
Yeah, it held the moisture during the drought.
That's where it did the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you almost get drought proof if you have a really good rye crop to crimp over. I mean, you're almost drought proof at that point.
Because it holds it.
It just holds it in there. I mean, like you saw that day.
Oh yeah.
It's like, check out the ground, dude. 7 weeks of no rain and it was still.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I guess as it decomposes, it's
got some moisture in
I
it
don't
still.
know.
Yeah. I don't know either, but it works. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, that's my plan. I mean, I'm gonna continue what we're doing in the back.
Yeah.
Because that's an acre. No, is it a little bigger? I think it's acre and a half.
Yeah, it gotta be a little bigger than an acre.
Yeah, acre and a half maybe. Yeah. And then this one in the front's probably an acre. Just if I was guessing. Yeah. But and then so you're thinking. So you'll crimp.
Yeah.
What does that do for corn? Do you know?
I don't know.
I mean, I wonder if you can just mow the corn down and let it rot. Can you do that?
I don't know how fast it'll rot. I have to look into that because that's going to definitely.
Because that would be the end of the year. That'd be the end of the season. So you would go all the way to the spring with all that land there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to try and see. Yeah.
Something to look into.
If not, I guess I have to rake all that stuff up or I don't know what I'll do. I definitely don't want to.
God, can you imagine raking all that with your thing?
Yeah.
Take
12
hours.
Well, as a matter of fact, I saw a video the other day and I think I even asked the guy a question and, he, for his green plot, he didn't even mow down his corn. He just drilled right into the corn, and then crimped his corn over and he had green in the middle. So yeah, I'll have to look into that a little bit because I'm kind of risking my crimping process, but I want to try it.
Yeah.
Now we got that drill in our hands.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to try this.
Well, we kind of joked about it, but we probably really ought to trap as much coons as because that's going to be your issue to me.
Yeah.
Now, if I told you I did it back here lots of years ago, and I know I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
I literally had a four-wheeler and a single row planter.
Yeah.
And I would stand on it.
Yeah.
And I had to do, Richie was driving the four-wheeler. And then we just come back and dropped, the Roundup Ready corn.
Yeah.
And it all popped, dude. And they would get, that tall.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then it was like, I heard crows one day. It's gobs of crows. I was like, what's going on? Dude, they had plucked up every
single one of them.
And eating the corn off the bottom of it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. What the heck? And then so I was like, okay, I can't grow corn here, but whatever. Yeah. But that wasn't,
I've had success with just regular corn in my gardens.
Garden corn has worked.
But I had a fence around it,
Oh, yeah. Keep the animals out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would love to see that work.
Yeah. Well, that'd probably be close to, depending on how big my green spot is, probably at least an acre of corn.
Oh, yeah.
If I do it, the way I plan on doing it.
So, yeah.
I'm going to plant the whole thing when I drill it. I'm going to drill the whole food plot.
And then just cut out what you need.
Just cut out what I need.
Or just crimp or drill into it, like you said.
Yeah. Just drill into it and then probably run back over with the crimpers.
Well, even if it didn't put heads on, the cover alone, you've seen the cornfields without heads on them.
Yeah.
And they still get 5-6 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it didn't do that, if we have a typical Arkansas summer, I could see that causing a issue. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. If not, I'll be scrambling around trying to figure out how to brush hog it down. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just go through with the brush hog and then drill our trifecta in. And okay, now we're back to normal again.
Yeah. You just got tons of cover.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I don't know. It may work. I mean, it's really no different than plot screen other than it puts a head on.
Yeah.
And the plot screen does too. It's got that big old grain head.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Egyptian wheat, or
sorghum.
Sorghum. Yeah.
Yeah, they love that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of risky because I'm kind of risking, plot screen, kind of risking my crimping, I'll get to crimp my rye over before I drill into it.
Is it because of the toughness of the season? Last 2 seasons been kind of tough. You just want to try something different?
I just want to try something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
it wasn't going to be that. It was going to be some elaborate, like, plot screen deal or something. But I'm going to try the corn. So I'll get my crimping in this year. But if the corn actually pops this year, I really won't have, the outside edges won't be crimped over. So I'll be losing a little bit on my edges. But I mean, I'm going to try and see.
It's worth the shot.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah. What the heck? I mean,
well,
can't hurt.
You're bringing the farm style hunting to the
well. That's
to
what
the
we
south.
were talking about, right? It's like we'll never be a Midwest farm, but what we do here is we try to replicate that as having lots of food and all that stuff. So why not throw some corn in the mix and see what happens?
Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Well, there's people that do it around us in the river bottoms and stuff.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like buckwheat. It's like it did pretty good, but next year I'll probably do if I want to try a summer crop, it's probably gonna be a blend of something.
Yeah.
Versus because buckwheat really struggled.
Yeah, it did. It popped good, but then we got hot.
Yeah. Same thing with like the beans.
Yeah.
Beans
got 8. Mm-hmm.
It was a really cool idea, man. What if we had like 2 acres of beans early season? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as soon as they pop the ground, they're gone,
smoked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a bunch of girls hanging around.
Yeah, that live there constantly, so that's out. But then they're talking about fencing it in. I was like, I'm not doing all that. Like, no way.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. Well, on that same thought, that's why I'm doing clover in the spring, is because I just really haven't had the doe numbers.
Yeah, you've been down.
I just really haven't. And dude, it's been last 2 or 3 or 4 years probably. Just like, dude, I got 6 does. I'm like, what, dude? I got 17. Like, what's going on? It's just, and I used to have a ton.
Yeah.
But I do know some of the neighbors take does.
Sure.
And, there's a whole argument about that. And, for me, it's just been a numbers game.
Yeah.
And my numbers haven't been there.
Yeah.
They just haven't been there. So, I definitely don't want to shoot the mamas, and, so there's that, and I want to open that can of worms. That's a big can of worms. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm not for or against it. I'm for it if you need to do it. Sure. But it's like, we have this discussion at my place every year. Like, man, I have 3 different families in there, and I got like 9 does or 11 does. I'm like, but how many is too many? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you can't really find out a whole lot of information because all the studies you look at, it's like 5 square mile studies, or you look at your browse line. Well, you can look at your browse line, but if it's around where they're living, it's always going to be heavily browsed because they never leave.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how to look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't figure it out.
Well, see, I heard something the other day. It was really interesting to me. A guy, as a biologist, and he was like, okay, everybody says, oh, you want 2-to-1 buck ratio, yada, yada, yada. He said, well, here's the problem. When you really look at the deer numbers, you're going to have a mama and most likely 2 fawns.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he said, so actually, if you take that scenario, so a bred mom that had 2 fawns, which all of them at some point have 2 fawns.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting too. There's a bunch of singles, but at some point in that, if she lives a normal life, she's going to have a set of twins. Which I thought was I'd never heard that before. Anyway, he said, if you took those numbers and you say, okay, I've got 6 adult does that got bred. They had a single or fawns, going to be one of the 2.
Yeah.
Bucks actually make up about 25% of the population. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, that makes a little more sense. And it's like, okay, which side do you believe? Do you want to take out the does to where the bucks have really got to search to find one?
Yeah.
Or do you want a pile of does where the bucks don't have to search? They're on you.
Yeah.
And
that's my dilemma every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd never heard that true buck number of 25% before. But if you think about it, you don't really count the fawns.
Yeah.
Whatever sex they are.
Yeah.
They're just an animal at that time. So for a doe to have a fawn or 2 every year, you can't count them as he's a button buck.
Yeah.
You don't really do that. So bucks total number was actually only like 25% of the
I've
herd.
heard something similar to that before.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay. So that, there you go. So you can't really say the number is cut and dried. You just really can't.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's what I said. They say you can check me out. Well, like Mississippi State does it. They send their students or whatever out there to, like, if it's, I think it has to be like in their state, you have to have over like 500 acres or something. They'll come out and do this study for you or whatever. They go by the browse line. How high up is the browse line? Because if they're reaching higher up, that means there's no food on the ground.
Looking for it.
But that could also be like that's just your property. You don't have a lot of browse. So there's just so many variables, and I battle it every year. Like, it was last year, I think, man. I'm like, I'm gonna try to pop a couple of those big nannies and get them out of here. Like when they were no showed on that.
Yeah, they said no, you're not.
Yeah, like that's the only hunt I had last year with that I did not see a deer was that private land antlerless only hunt, and I had 2 big ones that were just regular. Like I'm gonna kill both of them and give one away and cut one up in a jerky. I think it was my plan, but yeah, I don't know. I've done several deep dives on it, but there's not really a definitive answer because there's so many variables.
Sure.
And every one you find that they've done a real good study on, it's a Midwest farm. Doesn't apply to us really at all.
Yeah. We're kind of off the radar.
Yeah. Which I can always tell like what, kind of what my numbers are. And I think I am getting too many because just the difference between my rye that we crimped last year and your rye was big.
Big difference.
Like 14 inches probably.
I had too much food.
Yeah.
And you didn't have enough.
Yeah.
And yours is almost double what mine was.
Yeah.
Well, I guess both plots are together.
Yeah.
And maybe not. You're bigger.
Yeah.
And you were just mowed. Mowed.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is right now. I mean, it's down to nubbies. Like they're in there after that cold and like every day. And like, man, this thing's getting hammered. So,
well, and that's to get back to the drought thing. I really think that played a role in that they just didn't put out like they would have.
Yeah.
The plant.
Yeah.
All the stuff. And so when you do get some severe weather like we've had, really, really cold, and then 10 inches of snow on top, it's like the plant's like really in bad shape. What
are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like really in bad shape.
You got no water. I got too much water now. I'm freezing. Yeah.
That's the only reason I say that is because where I watered is night and day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a healthier plant.
Yeah. It just the roots are deep and, it's doing good. And
that's how kind of also I want to get rid of them big trees in the food plot. They don't really do me any good. I think it'll make it a lot nicer to drill, number one. Number two, those big shade rings I have that don't grow anything, I think I can, that'll add to the crimping process and the food process. I mean, I'll have more food on there once I get rid of that timber. So.
For sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then I got to see if I can successfully transplant fruit trees, because I think I want to put them on the edge now and get them out.
You told me that. I would be freaked out because I'm afraid I'd kill them. They seem like they're.
I know, but I'm worried about it. Year 7, I won't be able to see down there. I had it made a lot of sense in my head when I planted them that way, staggered them off so they could germinate. So I got a fruit tree plot right down the middle of the same, but as they fill in, it could be trouble.
Yeah.
And if I can't see, I freak out.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I want to be able to see what's going on that back end. So I think I'm going to scoot them all to the edges. Maybe.
Well, once you open the plot, that would make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would make a whole lot of sense. For sure.
So that's on my checklist this year is get all the trees down. If I can, I'll try to move those fruit trees, but they may be blooming before I get around to it. So may have to wait another year, which I am kind of a little bit scared about because I've got some that are putting off fruit already. Like
I know.
About ready to be uncaged.
Yeah. But think about your changes, guys. This is the time to really implement changes, and we both got plans. We really don't know how the plans will turn out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
stuff that keeps you awake.
It's been like that forever since I can remember. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and it's just going to change everything.
Yeah.
I will say this from all the years on the plot stuff, the biggest change I had was plot screen.
Oh yeah, no
dude,
question. Especially on this one. Especially on this one, right?
On a wide open.
Yeah.
I had this wide open field.
Yeah.
And then I plot screened that off, and it was like daylight activity like no other.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that if you're not.
And it's cheap and it's easy.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah,
and you don't have to really do a lot to the soil. Nothing, and just let her go.
It's a quick way to change the property up.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
And it's an eyesore that goes away in the pretty time in spring and all that. You can mow it down and be done with it.
Yeah.
I deal with that a little bit. So
I
can't put up an ugly, hedge out there and leave it, I have to actually kind of clean it up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna brush hog everything. I'm gonna do the switchgrass and the plot screen, the whole deal, get it all chopped down and hopefully mulched up pretty nice where it doesn't affect the crimping process too much.
Yeah. Well, the plot screen stuff, I just hog.
Yeah.
Just keep hogging it until
it gets broke up.
It's all flung out everywhere. Yeah. It seems to all rot away.
Yeah. That's my plan.
Yeah. I think you'd be good on that.
Yeah, I did that one year on the north end. I put that big heavy one before I planted the switch. Remember that year?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do plot screen back here.
Yep.
And
now you got a switch wall back there.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That was that southern blend too.
Yep.
made a difference.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, it did. I mean, yours is like, you skipped 2 years, almost caught me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I still got a couple bags of that laying around. So I think I'm going to try it again on the west side. And after I brush hog, I think I may just go through there with my hand spreader and just frost seed, just, sprinkle a little bit in the whole mix just to see if it does anything.
Oh, yeah. You never know. I would like to, Dad Spot, Clint Spot.
Yeah.
Add some plot screen in there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We talk about it every year, and I don't ever go do it.
Clint Spot would for sure be.
Yeah. We'll see. Even
I think that's what that thing's missing. Is come up that edge and do the whole front side. But it'd be if you could shoot over it.
Well, I was going to say now with the elevated,
I
think I think you're up there high enough to see something in that back corner.
Yeah, I think that'd be right there where those early season bucks. You probably get them 10 minutes earlier.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. They stand over there looking in for a while.
Yeah,
because you know where they're bedding.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we got lots of changes coming.
Yeah.
Nothing major, but I don't know. You got a pretty big job in the tree undertaking.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do with those trees either because I told you I was thinking about buying a sawmill. I don't think I want to buy it right now, but I'm wondering how long that stuff will last if I actually just kept cut them an 8-foot section and kept them for a little while.
Yeah, I bet you can just keep them off the ground.
Yeah.
Where, the rot doesn't get to them.
Yeah.
And,
I hate to waste them.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's just good timber in there. I got a couple big pines and some oaks and a lot of hickory.
Yeah. You got a lot of hickory.
A lot of hickory in there. So,
yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Talk to my stump grinder guy because I found a stump grinder that goes on your PTO for like a third of the price of what you could buy one for, and it'll been used a couple times. So I talked to my guy that we ride with sometimes that does that. He's like, because I was like, man, maybe it's cheaper just to buy one and do it myself. But he said, I forgot what he said now, like so much a stump, or you can just rent me for the whole entire day, and it was still way cheaper than buying my own.
So that's probably what you'll do.
I'm just going to send him.
Have it all knocked out.
Yeah, because I got some on that little 5 acres dead trees I need to cut down too, and I brush hogged that. So I hate stumps.
Yeah, no, they're ugly.
I got to get rid of them.
Well, I dropped a tree. We cut firewood after I've healed up, by the way. My back's actually working again.
Yeah.
So I cut up another tree, and I got the splitter.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I should have done that to start with. But anyway, I got the splitter, and what I do, because I don't like stumps either, and I used to have a dozer, and I just dig them out. Well, the dozer's gone and died, and she did. Yeah. And anyway, I cut them off, dude, like inches from the ground.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt with the saw.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've done that before, too.
That way, when I go over it with the brush hog, I don't hit it.
Yeah.
And I just keep it as low as I can get it, right at the top of the ground, and it'll take forever to rot, but that's what I had, big old oak. Yeah. Lots of firewood now, so.
Yeah, oaks are going to take forever. Some of those pine ones I cut down, I just cut a barrel in half and burn, and like once they catch fire, they'll burn a hole in the ground. Like they're easy to get rid of. But those oak trees and hickory trees and all that stuff.
We'll be there for a minute.
Rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, guys, that's it today. We want to talk about changes because if you're not having success, you need to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Private or public.
Yep. It doesn't matter. But so anyway, be thinking of the things you can be doing right now. We'll be shed hunting here before long. So good time to be out there looking around, guys.
And ultimately, I don't remember who told you this, but the biggest tip of the day, you got to be where the deer are.
You got to be where they are.
That's it.
Just say, hey, man, what do you think of this buck? Hey, you got to be where they are.
That's right.
All right, guys. We appreciate you listening.
Everybody.
Thank you.